I mean, dude, Grand Theft Auto was designed to do that, though. I mean,
yeah. Well, when you got a really good immersive game and you see people do that, it's like I was watching somebody play testing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and they ran around with Yasuke just chopping people's heads off, like innocent villagers. And people even commented and said, why is this in the game? And why is that okay? Like, that's weird. I know he's dressed like a samurai, but that still is highly inappropriate behavior. And it's just not immersive for me. Like, I immediately lose interest if I'm watching somebody play.
I get you. I mean, I lose interest. I mean, to each their own, man. But
I mean, you can do what you want, but you're posting a video. You're not going to get my viewership. I'm going to go watch somebody play the game seriously.
Yeah, and I'm not going to play with you.
Oh, heck, I'm not going to play with a psychopath. Well, I mean, I guess I'm lying. I won't play with a psychopath unless he's a really good friend and a fellow dice junkie who might drive a car through his own allies' camp and run people over.
Love you, Blood.
Love you, Blood. That Far Cry, man. Oh, my goodness. What are you doing? What are you doing? I thought it was the bad guys. They were dressed in our colors. They were dressed up as members of our team. What are you doing?
All right, let's get started. Welcome to Dice Junkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
And, yeah.
We were talking about Far Cry. Was it 5 or 6? 5?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we brought it up. We were watching some other video of some upcoming games, and a guy was just going through just...
Yeah, it was a Where the Winds Meet review. And the video was
slicing
really good.
the people apart.
Then it's just a scene while he's still talking about the game where he's just murdering villagers like a maniac in the background. And we're sitting there going like, he's still talking normally, but he just slashed like a poor lady walking down the street to death for no reason. It was like, so we stopped watching it because that's not immersive to me. Like, that behavior is just...
I mean, it is and it isn't. Here's the thing, dude. So when I played Cyberpunk, I didn't go on any killing sprees.
Yeah, never. Not any time I played the game.
But...
Well, gang members, that's different. When I hunted down gang members.
When I'm scoping around and a kid gets in front of me and it forces me to push my gun down because you can't even aim when there's a kid in the area, that annoys me, too.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have to be in there if it wasn't for the psychos that would go around doing nothing but murdering children.
Oh, I know.
There's a child murdering mod in Skyrim to make it so you can murder the children, and there was somebody who cleaned out the orphanage. I watched the video, and I'm like, who cleans out an orphanage?
But it annoys me that you can't. Even though I wouldn't.
I get it. It annoys you that you can't. I agree, but I also understand it's there because people are maniacs. Because, for example, that guy was a perfect example of why you need to not be able to draw your weapon in town. Like, he is the reason there are games where you can't draw your weapon in town. Because it's hard for a game that has a core story where you're the hero to parse you slicing down little old ladies in the street. Like, that kind of...
Think how it would change how you play the game if while you're running around and there's this gang shooting after you and you're trying to shoot back, but there's kids on the street and you could actually kill the kid if you're not careful. How much you would play differently.
I don't know. My belief is that you should have it in there, but you should have repercussions. I like the game. One of the things that's a really
dude, I'm all for. I think it should be horrible if you do it. But the thing is, that makes you actually have to pay more attention to your aim,
No. I was going to give you an example. I downloaded Lore Rim for Skyrim. And one of the mod things in there is that there's a religion system. Well, none of the gods will mess with you if you have a murder on your thing. Well, I'm a summoner. It's really easy to accidentally get one. So I've been meticulously careful to not commit this cardinal sin because after that, I just got to worship Daedra because the gods don't want to mess with me anymore. And I like that there's a very real consequence. To me, what you do, simple. You want to be like, yeah. But have consequence. There were some games where if you acted a fool in town, you couldn't complete the story because you needed to talk to certain people and they wouldn't talk to you anymore. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Brick your game if you decide, especially if you go out of your way. You go on a murder rampage, it ought to literally be like what I was saying, where you lose benefits and you may have to save scum or whatever because the game's not going to let you do that. And to me, it makes sense. Why would anybody work with you if you went in Starfield and ran through the city, seeing how many people you could shoot? All the organizations should you could only be a pirate. You know, you're not allowed in town anymore. I like that. I think that's actually fair. So to me, it shouldn't be they can't keep doing it, or like Grand Theft Auto we're talking about. Dude, getting a lot of stars in Grand Theft Auto is dangerous. You know, you got to be careful. You'll get put down. Now, yes, you can get alpha of it. You're talking about how you can't escape. But it's also Grand Theft Auto. It's what the games are for.
I mean, Grand Theft Auto got around it just by, I don't think there is any kids in that town.
Well, yeah, they don't have children. But but in a game that isn't Grand Theft Auto where you're kind of supposed to misbehave, yeah, man. Like remember in Halo, if you shot anybody on the ship, you got gunned down, and you got gunned down.
Yeah.
You want to be a fool, you died.
Well, and so maybe, and this is all to be devil's advocate. Maybe he was killing villagers just to show that it was capable, that they weren't immortal.
See, that's something I didn't need to know because I wouldn't do it. Not in a game I take seriously, dude. A game that I really am enjoying and I'm immersed in. Even when I play an evil character, you're supposed to be subtle. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to, like in Skyrim, you can sneak in the basements, man,
or so you knew.
You could be a vampire and hide your identity, but you're not supposed to be walking around town.
Or if you knew if there was co-op, not to bring certain people into your game.
Look, man, I love my boy, but I went into his game because I didn't want him running over my people. I was like, because we'd be riding down the road, and there would be some of our guys on the road, and he would just swerve off the road, and then like, I'm just sitting in the seat like, dude, what was that? Why did you do that? I thought they were waving to us, man. What are you talking about? They were like, hey, man, how you doing? He's lucky Far Cry didn't have a serious punishment system for that, But yeah. So you got to be careful who you bring in.
Which honestly, it claims it does.
Nah, he got away with it a lot. He ran over a lot of people, accidentally mowed down whole encampments of our guys. Mm-hmm. Hey, look, it's a group. Wait, man, they're not even shooting back, man.
Because I know I saw, I don't know if it was when I was playing, I accidentally shot somebody, or I was watching a video, and it actually popped up a warning. Hey, you killed too many people, and you can, it would end the game.
He kept it under that. He didn't get up to that amount. But to me, 1 is a lot. Apparently, too many is like a dozen. Maybe you got a pretty good leeway before they start to go. I don't even want to work with this guy anymore. He's killed 24 people. I think that's 1 too many at 24. But
If you kill 3 in quick succession, you will automatically die.
I wonder if it wasn't doing that because we were in multiplayer then. Because he ran over at least 3 people, I thought. I know he's ran over 2 in quick succession. But I could have sworn he's taken out 3. But it might be it was multiplayer. And that might be on multiplayer, they may not end the game because it would also end the game for the other person. But, So anyway, sorry, just to let you know what we were talking about before the show. We were talking about games that allow you to do that. And my belief that it should have permanent repercussions. I think you should take a permanent reputation hit if the game's not designed for you to behave that way. You should be locked out of the light side faction, the honorable, because it's based on Wuzi and Zhaja cultivation. You should just be completely locked out. That's how you stop that. Oh, you mowed out a bunch of villagers. Half of these people won't talk to you anymore. I mean, to me, that resolves that. Because if you're going to do that, you should be treated like a maniac. You should be treated like a maniac. Also, that's immersive if people treat you like a maniac now. It's like, I can only talk to the dude who eats babies now because everyone else won't talk to me.
All right, now that we've gone off on a weird tangent for the last 10 minutes.
Video games. Screw you.
No. I can get you.
Here, do the intro.
I already did the intro. We did the intro 5-6 minutes ago.
We do the intro?
Yeah.
I don't remember saying.
Yeah, you did. You're just getting old, buddy.
No, you're crazy. We didn't. Or we did. I don't know.
I mean, do I need to go back and play it for you?
No. I mean, as crazy as I am, I'm not as crazy as 2 particular companies we're covering today who seem to be competing on a race to jump off. These are like lemmings versus what's another creature that kills itself?
Oh, humans?
Too soon?
Oh,
anyway, lemmings and insert other species that does dumb stuff to buy. Turkeys, I don't know. But but basically Ubisoft and BioWare are in our news because they are like
turkeys. Did you say turkeys?
Supposedly turkeys can drown themselves from looking up in the rain. They're very stupid from what I hear. Now that may also be a myth.
So that was dogs that myth was about.
Okay, I never heard that one. I don't know where you're from anymore. I sometimes think you were from
Hold up. No. Looking up in the rain animal.
Turkey. Boom. First search.
Okay.
Now, it may be a myth. I don't know if it's actually verified, but it is always, because they're saying that no. But, we're talking about mythology.
Okay.
But we're making this a reference, so it doesn't have to be accurate. We're making reference to the myth and the lemmings. Because I also don't think lemmings really drive themselves off cliffs the way people say they do. That's also exaggerated. But basically, two companies, but I didn't want to make the other reference like you did because, that might get us YouTubed. So.
Yeah, it was a slip of the tongue, man.
Yeah, well, So basically, two companies that are trying to fail and racing each other to the failure line.
I don't know. Maybe they're not trying to fail anymore. Maybe they're trying to fix things.
But then they'll do something stupid because they hear like, wait a minute, what did Ubisoft do? We can't let them beat us. BioWare, let's do something dumb.
So BioWare announced that it is the rumor is true. They are moving a lot of their employees over to other EA companies as they are solely focusing on Mass Effect at the BioWare studio. Now, additionally, they did not mention firings.
Well, no. They moved them to that division called the Outdoor Division.
Yeah.
It's like right through this door. That leads to the parking lot. Yes, through that door is where that's your place now. Out that right there. Go on. Let me get that badge from you. There you go.
So from this, they do not mention any firings, but people have confirmed through social media, writers saying that they were fired from the BioWare team, writers that were on the Dragon Age Veilguard team originally. So
I hate to see people lose their jobs, and I stand by that. But let me define losing your job. Losing your job is that you want to be employed, you need to be employed, and you're trying to stay employed. I hate I have to make this verification, but we have people out there, I don't know what is going on with this new generation, that do not seem to want their job. Because, what was that? Oh, my God, I forgot the topic. Did we cut it last week? The one where they were bringing in people to help on the game? Oh, that's Gears of War. Where they had to bring in people because the team working on it didn't want to do their job.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find something on that. That was crazy. But we'll get into that. But basically, it's either it's going to be the way we want it or we're not going to do it. And to me, that wasn't you got fired, that you quit. If your boss looks at you and says, I need you to make this game. This is what I want it to be. And you go, no, I want it to be this. And he goes, that's not your job. You need to make the game like this. And you go, well, I'm not going to do it. You weren't fired. You quit, effectively. Refusing to do your job, I cannot be as sympathetic because you're being paid money. Y'all need to learn that a job ain't about you. You are being paid to do what you're told. Wow. That is what a job is.
I mean, we don't know what these writers are told, though. I mean,
well, you also have to express a certain amount of intellect. Have I gotten a bad call sent to me? Yeah, and you know what? I've had to go. This is not going to work. I've been there. I know what it's like. It's scary. But I knew
as a matter
that
of fact,
if it went down, it would be worse.
They probably had these writers on that team for that reason. And hopefully they realized that due to the failure of Dragon Age that they didn't need these writers. What are you pointing at, man?
Look at it. Look at the names. Nepotism. That's half the dang problem. Dude, they're clearly married or related. Trick Weeks and Karen West Weeks. That's his wife. Or an in-law. Yeah. That's half the problem. I literally just realized that I'm looking at it and realizing that why are these two people working in the same area on the same game? That's half your problem. I'm sorry, but that's usually a bad idea, man. I'm not going to lie. Because, you don't want to fire your wife. You don't want to fire your sister-in-law. That's usually not a good idea. That usually is going to be a conflict of interest. I just thought that interesting that when I looked at ES, that, I looked at that and I'm like, wait a minute, why do they have the same last name? But no, she's got the hyphenated name, which means that's her married name, her maiden name and her married name, which implies they're probably married to each other since one's been there 20 years and the other one's been there 19. So that's interesting. And yeah, you saw those hearts on Solus. No, they are definitely part of the problem. So yeah, we're looking at, yep, that's her. Go look at the other picture. That's her. Yeah. They're married. Oh my God, that blue streak. Interesting choice. You should divorce your husband if he gets a blue streak in his hair.
Is it a husband? They go by the pronouns of they, them.
But check the other picture again. Go back to the page. I want to see, because that looks like that is literally the other individual. That looks like because they had a little picture next to the thing.
Let's see. Karen West Weeks.
Man, it's a shame. Look at that picture. He used to be normal. They used to be normal. Like something went really odd that you got this picture of yourself looking like a lovely married couple, and then under that there's a picture of you with a blue streak in your hair. I'm sorry, dude. We're already canceled. I'm just being real. It's sad. If you've always been that way, I get it. That's your lifestyle. But it's a shame when I see, nope, that was him. You saw that picture. Like with the rainbow glasses. By the way, how do you be a man married to, appears to be a man married to what appears to be a woman, but be right? That's not, I don't get it. And look at them. Yeah, no, that's them. Yeah, I think that's them. I think that picture, could be wrong. Well, I can't tell. She looks a lot older than the other lady. Nope, there's a blue streak.
Yeah.
Caught it. Yo, boy, Detective Q. So they apparently lost their mind at some point.
So one of them, I think, says I'm looking for a new writing and narrative position. And then she's the editor?
Yeah.
So he's a writer.
And then she's the person that goes over it. And they're both heavily into that. You see it's all over the profile. So how are you getting fair work out of these people when one person writes it and then the editor is their spouse and they both have a strong political leaning, which means, By the way, you might want to hold your breath.
All right.
I just didn't want to catch you off guard. Didn't want you to suddenly turn to me and just go, God, no!
Anyways, all right. That happened.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can see the problem laid out in front of you. That's not a good business model where you literally have working together spouses and they're in a direct line of the proofing of a product, because you're going to have a writer who's going to write the material and present the ideas. Then you're going to have the editor who's going to go over it, make any changes need to be, make corrections. Then it goes on to what? Development? Well, 2/3 of this process and the entirety of the proofing are flowing through people who are literally married. That's some major conflict. And I would immediately, it's a red flag to me, because you're going to write what your wife wants, your spouse wants you to write. And your spouse is not going to shoot down what you're writing, likely. So you're going to do this as a team. So it's not getting any counterpoints. You know, we've got a firm belief when we debate each other, we check each other, we ask people to disagree with us. And we do this because you need an external opinion. You need somebody that will disagree with you so you can see where you might be wrong. This is a straight line through problem right there. And now I see how Veilguard got the way it was. Because who knows how many more scenarios of people on the same. In fact, up there, I think it talks about it. Look, go above it. I see the mention name. Let me see. Yeah, he was the lead writer and the lead editor. So, no, they were calling all the shots. It's the lead writer and the lead editor are a married couple. That's too much power. That's too much power in one hand. And then they clearly are very strong in their beliefs because they have it plastered all over their profile. So that means you're going to only get one point of view coming through that work. And while that's fine, the country is minimum 50-50.
Yeah.
Split. Minimum. And let's be honest, can I say it? It's not 50-50. It's not. It's no.
But yeah.
The market. And that's the country. In the gaming community, it ain't 50-50. Let's be real.
Yeah, the fact you had the lead writer and the lead writer and the lead editor who have very similar leanings and opinions as by their social media we've seen. So there's no checks and balances here. They just did what they wanted.
Now, the cool part is they moved Cheryl Chi, who wrote the characters we like, Blackwall, Harding, Isabella, and Leliana. Love those characters. Harding's the dwarf scout. She was cool. Blackwall was the Grey Warden, or what spoilers. Grey Warden. Isabella was the pirate I liked, and Leliana was one of the favorite female characters from the first game. Awesome. And they kept her. She was moved, it looks like. That's awesome. But they let go those others. Now, the good news is, Zeno's right. They fired these people. And I'm going to be honest. I hate people lose their job, but y'all knew that was a conflict. One of y'all needed to go somewhere else. You can't be the lead writer and the lead editor. You've eliminated all the other voices from this chain. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the lead. That means everybody under them pretty much works under them. So you're making 100% of the calls through your power couple for the writing. And it explains how we got what we got. Yeah, see, now we're finally getting our posts. It's taking a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, working together. Not just writer and editor. I don't know if you saw that because, it's a little behind. Lead editor and lead writer, which means no one else. No one else has a say-so over them. They were that, other than the producer, but they let the producer go. The producer clearly didn't care. But yeah, your entire writing and editing process is flowing through a couple.
Yeah. All right. Well, that explains a lot. Also,
I mean, let me tell you about us. You see the two of us, and we got Bloodaxe, those 3 Dicejunkies. Guess what? We purposely argue with each other. We'll take up an opposite point of view just so we get the dang argument going, because you need that. He loves to piss me off by just going, oh, it could be this. And I'm like, he'll be like, I'm doing it. Oh, okay. Because, I'll be ready to fight sometimes. You get on my nerves. And then I'll do it to him. He'll say something, I'll be like, well, I mean, it could be this. He'll look at me and be like, yeah, we both know I don't believe that. I'm not stupid.
Oh. Now, this was amusing coming out of this Cheryl Chi. I'm assuming she doesn't work there
That's
anymore.
one of the ones that got let go, I think. Go back to the reviews. Let's see. We have a list of what happened to him. Come on, let's fact check. Let's see. Cheryl Chi.
I don't see.
No, Cheryl Chi got moved over to EA Motive.
Yeah, she was the one who wrote those characters.
Oh, well, then I take that differently. Because she may be trying to say, look, please don't give up on Dragon Age. We're going to try to keep it alive.
Maybe. But, I mean, it's still a stupid
oh, yeah. Okay.
comment.
Yeah. Go ahead. This is his because this is dumb.
So they said Dragon Age isn't dead because it's yours now. Okay, I get that. You own the game now, it's yours. But no, then it's like EA BioWare owns the IP, but you can't own an idea. Intellectual property, that's an idea.
That's literally what it stands for. It's the intellectual property, the idea.
I mean,
he's railing on it because it sounds like she's saying, feel free to just make your own Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Like, no, you cannot legally do that. You can only do that in your house. If you try to sell it, you're going to get in trouble.
Apparently, she goes by that other writer. But yeah. But
yeah, somebody said they're going to write an alternate universe of all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
After seeing that, and she's like, "That's great." I'm like, "Yeah, you better not. You can write it, but you better not post it."
Well, I mean,
not to post it, but you better not publish.
You can do fanfic and stuff, but I mean, you can't sell it.
Now that I know who she is, I'm a little bit more hopeful.
And maybe that's it. Maybe she wants people to write fanfic like the characters she created and stuff like that.
Well, she's probably wanting to keep it alive so that hopefully it'll be done again in the future. And honestly, between me and you, they can always uncanonize the game. We've seen it happen. We've seen soft reboots and hard reboots. Maybe we'll get a soft reboot of Dragon Age that completely goes away from...
Yeah.
Okay, they blew up Dicejunkies.
She does say there's fic and there's art. So I get that. Okay. I'm not as annoyed.
And I'm in support.
Seeing the whole post.
Dude, and I'm in support. The Grey Wardens and the Blight is interesting. I'd like to see more of it. Mm-hmm. And you would have to basically... You do know to make another game, they almost have to do that because they destroyed Dicejunkies, which I still can't believe they just destroyed all the previous game settings. They may non-canonize that.
But this line is still sort of dumb to me. Technically, EA owns the IP, but you can't own an idea. But you can own an idea. You can.
Also, you shouldn't say that about your parent company, no matter how much they want to, because you could also be shown to that one department right there. That's the front door. Yeah, that's your department. We'll join everyone else out there.
Oh,
yeah, we need to, man. If we only knew how to animate, that'd be awesome. We could just do an animation of the like, we're going to show you your new office, just out the front door.
So she's heartening, but they come amidst a time of real turmoil at BioWare, which saw a significant portion of its staff move to other EA studios. She herself.
Who is this we're reading? Because they're still claiming that Veilguard wasn't a flop
at EA Motive.
Why do they keep doing this? Why do they keep saying it wasn't a flop? Down here. That paragraph.
Oh.
Stop claiming it wasn't a flop.
It's PC Gamer, dude. It's mainstream.
Dude, EA lost like huge stock when this got out. You can't say the game's not a flop when it just devastated your company. You know what? You know what flops do? Flops plummet your stock. Break-evens don't do that. Stop lying. You're making yourself look stupid. God, I'm trying to raise an intelligent kid. I don't want him getting this dumb stuff in his head. This is dumb. You're putting stupidity into the air and poisoning it with dumbassery. It was received well. No, it wasn't. No, hold on. No, you back me up. You're not going to play devil's advocate. What are the projected, the sales for Path of Exile 2, the free game that you can pay money to play early? What were the numbers we were looking at? Estimate now, just a rough estimate.
Of what now?
A Path of Exile 2 sales.
Path of Exile 2 sales?
Early sales. On a game that ain't even out yet, and it's free.
Yeah. So the pre-purchases, what do you call that?
To play early, yes. The early access.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying the pre-orders. The pre-orders themselves were 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's before the early access was released. People pre-ordered an early access and paid at least $30. Could have paid more.
Well,
and now what I think is estimated to be around 4 million.
This is a free game that all you have to do is wait to play it. To play the game early, they're willing to pay for a free game at least, it's very important to say at least, $30 and 4 million. That is Veilguard after its full run, and them lying, still, their lie is only 1.5. And I don't believe they hit 1.5. They did not hit 1.5. You don't have no player-based peak of 200 or 100-something thousand and claim you sold 2 million freaking copies. There's no way that they sold.
Well, no, they said they sold 1.5, and that would be across Steam.
No, I'm saying I don't believe Steam got that small part of the market.
Xbox.
I don't believe Steam got that small part of the market.
PC gamers tend to be more informed about the content of their games, though. I mean, if
that is true,
talking to PC, like more PC gamers are more looking into where PlayStation purchases and Xbox purchases can be less informed. Can be.
And PlayStation players are idiots. So,
no, I'll just say PC gamers tend to know a little more about what they're getting, but that's also because there's a lot more choices out there for PC gaming.
Dude, according to this discussion here, they're claiming less than 4,000 sales on PS5. What the heck? That's claim.
Yeah.
But to get the numbers they're talking about, they would have need to have sold outside of Steam like 1.2 million versus like the only 200 or something they got on Steam, and that's a huge chunk, man. Like that just normally the numbers are fairly even across the board, which puts them at like 600,000, 700,000. I just don't know where that huge sales jump is supposedly coming from. To go like, yeah, we know what you can see, but on the ones you can't see, look at this.
Here's the thing. I mean, if you look, though, I mean, the low end of sales for Steam is estimated at 255. Your mid-range is estimated between 771 and 1 million. So, I mean, you usually these are pretty close. So, I mean, you probably did get about 800,000, 900,000 sales on Steam.
But I don't know because the player numbers just don't
So
rep that.
then those low numbers that you're hearing about on PlayStation and Xbox, that makes sense.
I mean, unless they really aren't counting returns, because if you go up, though, just slide up a little more. I'm sorry, I'm not crazy. Well, that's 3 months. Okay, give me the all-time peak. The real all-time peak, not just 3 months.
I think that is, let's see, max.
Oh, the game's been out for longer than 3 months, right?
Nah.
Oh.
Came out.
You see, but I'm not crazy, everybody. 90,000 peak players, but you sold 800,000 copies. That means that 90% of the people that played this game managed to not get on the game at the same time enough that the numbers look like this. Whereas I've seen games where they said the game sold 3 million and the peak players is about 30% of that number. This isn't 30% of 1.5. This isn't 10% of 1.5. This is like 7% of 1.5.
Flynn says in the chat room they have to sell at least 2 million to make a decent profit, 3 million to do well. But we know of games that have sold 5 to 10 million or more, so Velguard was not a commercial success. And here's my problem with that, Flynn. And
game being in development 10 years?
Yes. So the game, so if they count just the development for Velguard, I think that's correct.
Yes.
But the problem is Dreadwolf.
This game was Dreadwolf for 4 or 5 years or more.
And then they trashed all that development and started over. And where, yes, you can say, well, that's not Velguard, that was a previous project. But that was your next Dragon Age project.
It's the budget. It was the same budget.
So,
I mean, it's the team that made Velguard that trashed Dreadwolf.
So my thing is it's a bad success. It can't be a success just out of the fact that it had to have cost. The company over those 10 years spent more than $3 million
in copies worth.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the average game budget is around what 200 million.
200 million.
Yeah.
And that's for a game that went all the way through from beginning to end.
I mean, we saw Concord had 250 plus 250, so about 500 million.
Because it went through a redo, so we know about what this costs. So I think they needed a lot more than that. I think that they're lowballing, but you can't fool your stock.
So let's say you sell 2 million copies, okay? At $70 a copy, 2 million copies. That's $140 million.
Not counting all the skimming and other expenses.
That's $140 million right off the top. But you don't get that $140 million.
Steam gets a cut.
PlayStation
gets a cut.
Your publisher gets a cut.
You told me there's licensing, so like.
Well, the license is prepaid. That's part of your budget. So yeah. So yeah, even if they sold 3 million, they only make about 210.
GameStop gets a cut,
So that's why I'm like, I don't get how anybody can even imagine this being a success, other than people knew what the game was before they bought it, which is why you didn't have horrible reviews is because,
the people that bought it,
they weren't shy about telling you what the game had in it. I mean,
and I approve of that. Don't do that, because that's how you do get bombed out. But people that bought it to support the agenda. And thus, it had the reviews because most of the people that bought it knew what they were getting into. And the people who bought it and didn't know, and the kind of people who don't bother to review, they just buy games, and then they just probably played it. Because, dude, the player interaction at least says this. Very few people that bought this game completed it. I think one time they went and checked the achievements on Steam, and it has an insanely low completion rate.
12%, I think.
Yeah, like it is not being completed. Most people quit. But here's the thing. I bought a new router trying to get my speed up because I went to the 2, and I know I should take it back because it doesn't seem to be doing it, but I probably won't. If you got the money, sometimes you just don't bother. There's a lot of people that just sat on that and just took the L. That's the truth. There are a lot of people that'll sit on the L and just go like, I don't feel like packing this up and doing all of that because I got it on sale.
The Steam return policy. It's not that long that you can play the game before.
And when you got a really long game like this, you get past that pretty fast.
Yeah, because it's like I think it's like 7 hours or something. Let's see.
14 days and 2 hours. Is that the top?
2 hours. Sorry.
And 14 days. So you also got to do it even if you don't have.
So you have to return it within 14 days of purchasing, or before you've played for 2 hours. Dude, I will spend 2 hours in the creator.
I could spend 2 hours messing around in a tutorial trying to figure the game out. So, yeah.
I probably wouldn't have had my character created in 2 hours, man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm when it comes to character creations, I get into that stuff, man.
My biggest problem is I'm a dad, which means I get interrupted constantly. I can rack up that 2 hours because I have to step away from the game and I pause it. And then got to go do something with my son for like an hour. And, I ain't even, like he said, got past the first pausable screen of the game. It's just a reality. But my whole thing is I agree with you. I'm not trying to future. I'm just saying I don't believe they even broke even. I don't believe 1.5 broke even at all. I believe they took a loss. And the reason I also support that is if you break even, you don't take the stock hit they took that we covered last week. You don't. That's not a stock hit of we broke even. That's a stock hit of we effed up. That was a F up stock drop. I mean, it was boom. That can't happen off of the game was not a commercial failure. That's why I'm saying this is stupid. You're an idiot if a company's stock gets wrecked and try to claim the game is not a failure. That's like you know what? That's literally the real life example of the infamous Cartoon Network meme of you're sitting in a house on fire going, this is fine. I'm okay with everything. That's what that is, because you're a person who's literally looking at an empty bank account going, man, I'm doing good at this business. Zeros. I'm doing great. You're broke, man. Nah, man, but look at all these Twitter likes. That's not filling your bank account. Nah, but I mean, I got to be doing good. People are telling me that I'm cutting edge and I'm brave and wonderful and I did a good thing. Yeah, you got bills to pay. Also, they fired the people, idiot. You're literally writing an article about them firing the people and then saying the game was a failure. No, I just realized it's literally top part of the article. All these people are fired. Bottom part of the article. But the game was a success. The game wasn't a failure. And I'm like,
stock drop, firings, trying to focus on just one game, your top talent.
Saying we're not putting out anything else. The biggest one is, dude, you capitalize on a game. I've seen games get DLC that were trash.
Dude.
We've seen trash. I mean, Starfield. Starfield got DLC.
The last update, they basically said, was the last update.
Yeah, they're not even updating it anymore, let alone DLC. And when you give up on a DLC for a game and any content, that's you going,
dude, when you're done patching a game 3 months in, because we know how much they ain't got that game 100% fixed. I guarantee it. Not 3 months in. There are still plenty.
You're usually patching a game for the first year.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is just looking at it was you saw the actual number of players was down. Those numbers are the numbers we see on really old games. 6,000. Because he's pulling up again. 6,000 is the 24-hour peak. 6,000 is a game from 2010. We went last week, if you remember, and looked up games that had those numbers, but those games were like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. No, actually, it may have had more. You know, so it's like you're running numbers 3 months later of that game's 10 years. Games from, in fact, Inquisition probably has more people playing it. I could be wrong on this, but let's take a bet. Because Inquisition's pretty old.
Well, Inquisition was not originally.
Oh, and it didn't do really good. Yeah,
it was not originally released on Steam. It was originally released only in the Origin.
Bombed on Steam.
Well, anytime you release a game several years after, a few years after the game has actually been released, it's not going to do well.
Yeah, and you see that. It was released on the 20th. Yeah. So, okay, it's beating Inquisition. But, man, I mean, we've like Dragon's Dogma and stuff. Like, we looked up other games, though. There are games that beat its numbers. So, it's a failure. And I'm not trying to be mean, but, that's almost insulting to the people that got fired. I mean, you literally got fired. And, oh, wow, they have more people playing than Dragon's Dogma, too. We'll say that. Now, nowhere near their peak. But, also their game was a lot older. Because their game was from 11 months ago. So, you want to look at this 3 months to see what it looked like in 3 months? Yeah, that's good.
Let's see. So we have Monday, March. So March, April, May.
I mean, I think there's literally a 3 month.
Well, that's 3 months from now.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing about the same.
Yeah, so. Dragon's Dogma 2 was doing about the same. So they're doing Dragon's Dogma 2 numbers. I'll give them that. I thought it was a pretty good game, but man, it dropped off a cliff.
Single player doesn't really hold up very well unless you're really, really good. I mean,
Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah. Now that one is, I'm sure.
Come on, that's not fair, man. You're bullying.
Yeah,
it's cost a lot of money. Yeah, wow, 61,000.
So, of course, it started off with 2 million. It's about the same level percentage of drop, right?
No, it's a bigger one for that one, for the single player. But it's also older. Twice as old. But look at that up and down, people returning, and then they did a patch there. I know what that is. They added some content, and there's a bit of a bump.
Did a big jump. Yeah.
But, nah, man, I mean, anyway, we'll move on to the next topic. I'm just saying, though, like, to actually write an article where I show how terrible something did and how it was being fired, and then I go below it and go, and it wasn't a failure, and I'm like, you just wrote about all the terminations and the stock drop. Delusion. These people are insane.
Speaking of terminations, we have seen more.
Hey, Ubisoft ain't going to get outdone. We said this. So Ubisoft's like, you firing people? Beat us. We did 185.
Yeah. Ubisoft cuts 185 jobs in a bid to prioritize projects and reduce cost. Around 100 of those cuts impact 2 UK studios, Leamington and Reflections. And then another one I saw said that they actually closed down a studio as well. I thought I had that as well.
Yeah, there was some studio that got closed.
I don't see it now.
Don't worry about it. Just keep going. Like they also shut down one of the studios.
But yeah, so more jobs.
And the permanent closure of the Ubisoft Leamington site. The Leamington one. So first they cut a bunch of people, then they just shut that one down altogether.
And some of the people from Leamington will move on to remote countries.
Oh, yeah, because they only fired 185, so. And I'm pretty sure that studio alone probably had half of that or more.
Yeah.
But Ubisoft is terminating people, and they're terminating people before they even finish, really. Well, I don't know. No, they've been doing a lot of changes to Assassin's Creed. So BioWare and Ubisoft are just in a race. They're on fire. They're firing people, but they're also still saying stupid stuff.
Yeah.
So you're just like, it's wild watching these companies seem to vie to say one thing out of their mouth and then do something different and then say the thing that's making them fail again. And you're just like, what are you even doing? Like, is your goal to fire people? Do you do this so you have a reason to fire people? Do you say the dumb stuff, lose a bunch of money so you can fire more people? Because you would think after you did this, you would be cleaning up. But then we saw Chubbs. Like I showed you the character in Assassin's Creed Shadows. They took our boy Yasuke almost completely out of the game and made him not a main character, but then they add a companion that you're just like...
Rumors.
No, they got artwork of it. It's in a scene. It was in one of the later trailers they showed that character. That character's in there, buddy.
No, rumors that they've taken him out.
Well, all the trailers have reduced his presence dramatically. But then they show another one, and it looks like that the woman that's suing Lyft. You know what I'm saying? But if it was Chinese, it's just a big old kicks the dude across the room. Boom, hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm going to be your companion. And I'm like, this didn't work for Concord. Like, why are you... Nobody wants to see... Also, there are no female sumo in that period. Once again, inaccurate. That people pulled it and said, yeah... There were no female sumo at that time. But they literally name her moves after sumo, and they're implying she's a female sumo. There wasn't during Nobunaga's time a female sumo. I knew that, and I have nothing to base that on. I just used common sense. I just said that seems like the thing that they probably wouldn't have accepted back then because they were still kind of old-fashioned. Lo and behold, me, black guy not from Japan, turns out I was right because I'm not an idiot. Ubisoft is just not even trying to be accurate or thorough. They're just making up crap like a psycho. That's just what they're doing. They're just literally making up crap constantly, and it's dumb. It's stuff that a layman would go, that's not probably what happened. You know how bad it is that you're not only not historically accurate, but you're not historically accurate in a way that a person who doesn't know the history knows it's not accurate?
Well, the next company, maybe they should hire some more people. I hear there's a lot of people getting laid off. They probably don't want to hire them, though.
I was just going to say, like, I'm sorry, guys, because I hate that you lost your job. But where you're coming from, you either, A, make bad calls, or B, don't know how to talk up and mention that people are making bad calls.
Path of Exile team came out and said, I'm really sorry for how this went down. Work on Path of Exile 1, 3.26. On hold until Path of Exile 2, 0.20 has shipped. Basically, Path of Exile 1, 3.26 was supposed to be coming out. The Path of Exile team decided to move a lot of the Path of Exile 1 guys over to Path of Exile 2 because they thought it was in worse shape and needed the extra manpower. And basically kept saying, okay, we'll just use them for this time, then we'll send them back, and we'll be good. We'll be good. And it kept getting pushed on until they're not good. They're not getting the release out for Path of Exile 1 as when they thought they would get it. And, but it does show they are putting a lot of work in the Path of Exile 2 and getting it up to shape. Like I said, maybe they should hire some more people. They do seem to know how to run a company. They've done good. I guess this is when I was reading this, I actually realized why I'm probably as defensive against Path of Exile as I am. Because I was reading the comments from the dev and the team and stuff like that, and they're just down to earth. They talk to you like a human being. They're like, man, we made a mistake. We're sorry. This is what we're doing. And I guess I like that mentality to the point where I do get a little more defensive with them because I like the company. Because the company isn't calling me a shithead on Twitter or...
Well, that's my thing, though. Unfortunately, that causes me to raise my standard, too. I want to see the best out of them. And if you don't know, the Mad Dog family, the Dicejunkies family, we're tough love, as you've seen.
Yeah.
You're a good friend, as you've seen. So the better we know you are, the more we want to see your maximum potential. So I'll come to him and make critiques. And he gets defensive, and I get it, because I like him, too. But that's why I want to see them do better than Diablo. I want to see them do better than Last Epoch. I want to see them reach their full potential because we need them. We don't need them just to be making some little side free game. We need them to be as big as Blizzard because Blizzard's a trash fire. So somebody needs to replace Blizzard. I want to see them do it because, like you said, they seem to have some sense. And having corporations that prioritize making money but in a way that's still also user-friendly because they care about their brand is very important to me. So when I see a mistake that I think is easy to fix, I'm going to go, they need to fix this. because this is really too small to be holding them back. They're better than this. Whereas when I see Blizzard screw up, we just looked at Blizzard's Diablo 4 and we just said, yep, I guess it sucks.
But I mean, when you see it's like this, like, man, unfortunately, I can't promise a date right now. You know, all we can say is it'll resume as soon as this gets out there. I'm really sorry how it went down. Honestly, I should have predicted the fact that taking the Path of Exile 1 team off Path of Exile 1 would lead to this outcome, and I probably should have resisted doing it. But at every stage, I just keep thinking, we still have time, and then we didn't have time anymore. We still have a lot to learn about how to run 2 games simultaneously. We were overconfident. We still need to work out how to structure our studio to make this possible, but we do have a solid plan for what we want to do. And I'm like, fuck, man, that got me right there. I was just like, all right, man, yeah, take your time, just get it good. Yeah.
I mean, even the fact that they're supporting the whole game, how many times do these games, when they get the new game going, they just abandon? I mean, hey, Veilguard didn't even have a new game. They abandoned that game 3 months in. People are still playing the game like, all right, man, you know what? They'll patch that. And they said, no, we're not. Wait, what? We're done. We got your money. Fool. Should have been a PC player. Should have paid attention. And I mean, that's kind of the way it is. I mean, one of the reasons I switched to being a PC player is that you just seem to have a lot more information available. Even when it comes to information being available, being in the PC community, I'm way more informed than when I was in the Xbox community. They just don't stay on top of it like that. You know, they really don't. Mm-hmm. And it's just really obvious. Like, I would not know a lot about the game and the play test, and I mean, versus PC players, they discuss it, they're watching the blogs, they're watching the board, they're diving into the code if you mess up and give them a beta, and they review it early, they tend to be more honest about the reviews. Dude, if you're watching, except for PC Gamer, they're full of bullcrap. Yeah.
If you're watching a game on Steam, though, man, you go to that community hub, and you have the developers communicating with the gamers. You have the gamers discussing different aspects they've seen about the game. So yeah, I mean, just the way, I mean, you go to Xbox and you look at a game, you don't get hardly any information.
I look through Xbox reviews, and I can honestly say that Steam reviews go into detail.
Yeah,
they'll drill down into the game aspects to explain them to you. What I love is how often I'll find a Steam review that'll say, hey, red flag. If you don't like this is your game. And usually it's literally the thing I was worried about. I'm like, does this game do this? They'll tell you. You're not getting that on Xbox. You go to Xbox, man, I hate to say this, but I go and look at a Game Pass game on review, and it's just, they're a bunch of bleeps. They put a you-know-what in, and I hate you-know-whats. And I'm like, believe it or not, I'm not a bigot. I'm just like, oh my God, man, can you tell me about the game instead of how much you hate? I don't really care what you hate. And I mean, I've literally went through 20 reviews on Xbox. None of them said anything about the game worthwhile. Go to a Steam review, man. Boom, boom. Heck, it's what we're about to talk about now. One of the things we saw was somebody that played the game put out and said, yes, no, yes, can skip, can't kill, blah. They went down and they listed it out. You just get better people.
So yeah, the next game, Kingdom Come Deliverance. We talked about this and the possible ban in Saudi Arabia due to scenes of the LGBTQ type that would not fly well over there. Then there was a lot of back and forth with the creator, and oh man, this has been just a weird show. But anyway, it has been confirmed that there is a LGBTQ character that is part of the main quest.
So he's essential. He cannot be killed.
And that there can be some form of relationship with that character.
No, it's supposedly difficult to get, and it goes very poorly.
Yeah.
Because, Christian Bohemia, don't expect to get a flag raised and to hear you're stunning and brave.
Yeah. Which, so to me, story was over at that point. But there is comments of people saying the game is banned in Saudi Arabia. On PlayStation.
PlayStation only is not selling the game.
Yeah.
That is different from a ban. First of all, we were not able to even confirm if this is the case. Yeah. But even the original story, when you looked at it, the original article showed that a person supposedly in Saudi Arabia was unable to purchase this game on the PlayStation Network. So the story, so we're doing this actually to clarify. We're actually being the good guys here and going, hey, it isn't banned. It's supposed to be PlayStation is not selling. As you can see, the game in Saudi Arabia is the claim. And if it's verified, that is not a ban. That is PlayStation choosing. Because if it was banned, it wouldn't just be banned on PlayStation.
Yeah.
It would be banned on Xbox and Steam. So if they're doing that, that's just PlayStation getting out. If it's true, it does mean that PlayStation knows the game has the potential to be banned and is trying to get ahead of it and just going, you know what? We don't want to refund money, so we'd rather just not sell it there. So we want to clear this up. There's no confirmation of ban. We were not able to find any confirmation. It is a story and a claim. 2, the original post that claimed it said that PlayStation is not selling the game in Saudi Arabia.
Fun in the comments say, how is the character any different than Mass Effect and gay characters? You choose if you want the relationship or not. PlayStation has to follow the laws of the countries they sell games in. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. To me,
that's why we're clearing it up.
It's not really a story. It's just a character in the game that is there. You don't have to make any choices you don't want to make. The character exists, and I am in full support of not being upset because a type of person exists at all. No.
I mean, it's a shame that it's got to this point.
Yeah.
Because like I was just saying, I don't like that. Dude, don't act like people don't exist. That's messed up. Like, one of my favorite teammates was Zevin in Dragon Age, and he wouldn't stop trying to bang me and got mad when I said no. But I liked him. And then when I played Dragon Age Inquisition, oh God, and then Dorian. I love Dorian. He's Necromancer. I love Necromancers. It's like, you can hang out, but when I was talking to, and the thing I loved about Dorian, you have to initiate that. Dorian assumes you're straight. I can say this. You have to look at him, and when you do it, he's surprised. He's like, wait, what? That's good writing. Dorian's like, okay, I did not expect that. Like, there's nothing wrong with the gay person being in a game at all. There's nothing wrong with you having a choice to be gay. I believe in choice. My favorite games allow me. Dude, you know why I love Fallout New Vegas so much? Mm-hmm. It is one simple thing. That I walked in the house. Story was like most games. And it's like, I need to work with House to do this. And then I had an option to go, no, I'm going to run this myself. Well, that was an amazing option. How many times you wanted to shoot the guy and take over yourself?
So, the controversy for this game really started with that one person in a Saudi Arabia, like, news type person posted about this, the game being banned there due to LGBTQ. And before this, there was a hard push by some companies and some publishers to the creator to add in a lot of diversity and DEI type stuff. And he had claimed, no, I'm writing my game. It's my game. I'm not adding anything that I don't want to add. Now, he never said there would not be any gay people or there would not be any. He said he was creating the game he wanted. And so when this article came up, basically people were calling him to be a liar, saying, look, you let it go through. And he's like, no, I wrote the game I wanted. I added the characters I wanted.
Keep going, but I got to add something on, though, because there was some information I never told you that I came across about that.
And so I'm saying that this is the way I saw it.
I was going to add
but the thing is he would not talk about what was in the game, which made things worse. People built up. They were upset. They were mad. He wouldn't say it didn't exist, or all he would say is...
He played very coy.
Yeah. And so, anyway... So the main thing was people were upset because apparently they thought he went against what he said. Now, you may have some additional information.
Well, because one of the things that did come out is that insider leak, so grain of salt. But one insider leak said that one of the investors, when they were talking to him about the game, actually stated that they are the one that suggested add the option to make him gay and had it pushed through. That an investor did have him make that change. That was not originally in the game. Don't know if that's true, but I'm just putting it out there so we don't seem like we don't know all the angles.
Yeah.
We are aware of that.
But I mean,
but we can't confirm it. It's not our insider. But there is an investor who claimed, according to the inside leaks, that they are the one that said the young people like the gay stuff. We want him to be able to be gay. If that's true, then no, he was influenced by an investor to modify the game. Now, if it's true, I just do that so we don't sound like we only got half the story.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Point is though, to me, it's not that big of a deal. Doesn't matter.
Got a choice. Who cares?
Yeah.
You have choice.
So anyway, the curious thing is PSN blocking it in Saudi Arabia. Now the question is Steam and Xbox going to do the same?
Yeah, they even claimed a refund and purchase. I forgot that. That was part of it too. They said they refunded the people that had already bought it.
So I am curious how this ends up.
Well, here's the reason that this one is believable, just in that it's really easy to refute, and it's been out there for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The story's been out there for a while about the claims that you can't get it in PSN, and from what I know, the devs ain't opened their mouths.
I haven't seen anybody say it that's not true. So
now,
I've just seen some people say they couldn't confirm it.
That's just PlayStation getting ahead of it. Because who knows, there might be penalties if you sneak that game in. It might be you have to inform us or we charge you. It's a federal thing. You know, it could be that if you do that, you could be penalized. And PlayStation may be like, well, on our network, we don't want to incur that. You know,
well, there's also just the issue of...
It's only through PlayStation Network, from what I understand.
You know, of having to do refunds, stuff like that. I mean, all that costs money because it costs time and has people behind it.
Steam's not as worried about it. Steam will bite the dust, so if they end up having to refund it, they'll just refund it. But PlayStation may be like, we're not even getting in this, not through our network. Because also, do note, PlayStation, on PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
So they're saying, we're not selling this in Saudi Arabia. And honestly, those countries are pretty strict. As far as overall on the game, just my final say-so, I now know what's in the game. I understand every factor of it. Somebody finally got out there. Because, again, PC is amazing. And they said, this is what happens. Yes, yes, no. Somebody asked, is the character killable like most characters? And they said, no. They made sure this character was essential to the story. So you're also not allowed to kill him like you can almost every other character. He's in that rare list of mandatory to the story and thus immortal. That's the only part that got me. Just because I think that was on purpose. Just being honest, I do think that was on purpose.
Possibly.
But who cares?
Yep.
Who cares?
Next up, another studio doing some interesting things is the Power World developer Pocket Pair has opened its publishing arm only for 1 week and has already received 150 pitches. Basically, they're taking other game companies and indie companies, taking pitches and working with them to try to get more game ideas brought to fruition. That's pretty cool.
I hope they do exactly what they did to Pokemon. All the games we wanted that we didn't get. I hope they come out with their own Mega Man type. Because I mentioned several franchises that are basically being held hostage. Castlevania and Mega Man need successors. Well, and a spiritual successor would be awesome.
The first game that they have confirmed, his first project, an original, as of yet unnamed horror game by Assassin's Creed actor.
Actor.
Yeah.
You did say actor.
Okay. Abubakar Salim, of Sergeant Studios.
Not bad. That was about as good as I thought I'd get out of you on that name.
Neither studio nor publisher has revealed any details about the game's story or content, but the horror title is scheduled to release this year, according to Pocket Pair's website.
Would it be awesome if it's Silent Hill, effectively? I hope all these games are knockoffs. Like
somewhere else, I saw that the game may be a Castlevania-like game.
Did I call it? Oh, hit the website. There's a link. Oh man, if I called that, if I named the franchises we needed and they did it, I am a prophet for video games. Wow, now that is a stripped down website. That was. Can we get a screenshot, a concept art?
Doesn't look like it. Like I said, I read several articles on it, and somebody said it was a Castlevania-like. But
please tell me that the next one is going to be a Mega Man-like. That'll be the win.
Well, I mean, Castlevania-like just means it's going to be that I think that side scroller. So anyway, so that's cool.
New promising games on the way. Gotta keep an eye on that trial too and see what the heck Nintendo's evil butt gets up to. A-holes.
Yeah.
Speaking of a-holes, yeah, superhero a-holery all around.
Yeah. So the last two topics is superhero themed. First one is Superman co-creators estate sues Warner Brothers Discovery. Lawsuit attempts to block release of James Gunn's Superman. It's another one of those things of where somebody died that was associated with Superman and the creation of Superman. This would be Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster created the character in 1939. They sold the rights to DC Comics for a mere $130.
A move that would haunt them for decades.
Anyway, as they have passed and these documents and stuff have gone to their estate, especially apparently there is some international copyright to where they say that.
Hold on, go up. There was a part I feel that people need to know. In the 1970s, their plight became public scandal, and he did grant them annual pensions and credit. So they tried to make some hand-wavy amends, at least. They did give them some money.
Yeah, but there was no legal ownership of the character. Over the years, their heirs have repeatedly fought to reclaim Superman's rights under copyright termination laws, securing. I love how this is one of those things that always bugs me, and you see it every time a new estate gets. It's like, I want to claim that thing that I had nothing to do with, but my relative did.
Yeah, because while I think it's messed up they sold it for that price, I also remember the original Man of Steel, and he wasn't the character you think he is now. It was a very different character. He didn't have any of his powers.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about a character who has had,
massive
90 years of investment from DC, changing, building, creating the background, a story, popularizing this character. I mean...
And... they did sell them, though. Like, I do believe, take-backs is where you can go, yeah, this guy died. We just want to claim this, even though he sold it. And it's like, that's not how selling an IP works. Like, you don't get to just come back later and go, yeah, I changed my mind. It's like, that's why you be careful the first time. That's kind of the point, being careful.
Yeah. So apparently there's some weird international copyright loophole for British legal tradition. In these nations, copyrights automatically revert to an author's estate 25 years after their death unless explicitly extended.
Wait, why would that be the case? That means you can't really buy a copyright from somebody then. Because it just reverts back 25 years later. Who would even buy a copyright at that point? That is a weird law that you can sell your copyright, but your estate gets it back 25 years after your death anyway. That feels weird to me. Am I being weird about that?
No. I mean, it's a weird, and I'm sure there's a lot more legalese in that, which is why, they're having to try to come up with a weird lawsuit.
Yeah, because that's like... Then you can't so in other words, you don't even really sell rights in this. Over by their law, you're not really buying it because once a person dies, 25 years later, they just get it back. Weird too, because it's after they're dead, but that's the creator. Why does the estate get to claim the copyright 25 years later? That doesn't make any sense to me. British law is dumb.
And if the lawsuit succeeds in blocking the film's release in Canada, UK, Ireland, and Australia.
Apparently.
But, Yeah, man. I mean, that's not even the same character as it was. And
no, I remember the original DC comics, dude. The original Superman couldn't fly. Couldn't do half of that stuff. Like, they greatly evolved this character into what he became. Like, the original character was quite different.
And, I mean, Warner Brothers says we fundamentally disagree with the merits of the lawsuit and vigorously defend our rights.
But what's messed up is they're doing this to hold them hostage because they got a movie they need to make money on.
Yeah, no, what they're trying to do is they're probably trying to, they want them to just settle. Just like, they want money, man. And they're going to get that money on top of their dead ancestors' work. So...
And like Chat's talking about the Fantastic Four, and yeah, but see, those movie rights are different because we're not selling you the character. We're allowing you to make movies for a period of time. So yeah, that's a specific deal. This is them trying to claim we own Superman. And it's like, you know how devastating that would be to the DC universe? Like, first of all, they don't have what it takes to make these comics. And if DC decided to ditch the character, that would be it. They can't maintain Superman. So it would just kill it off. It would just be, it's done. So, but, greed. Greed's like that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to let you talk about this one because I don't care, really, anymore.
I'm just doing it informative.
I'm so jaded, man.
Anthony Mackie has been effing up lately, and pretty bad. Like, he had an interview. I made Zeno watch it where... essentially, he described, like, Captain America shouldn't represent America, like, doesn't represent America to him. Instead, he represents, and he listed off all these positive traits, greatly implying that he does not consider America to be honest or brave or loyal or any of that stuff. It was just a really bad... Now, I do believe it was a slip-up, but I do think it's a slip-up because it's what he was thinking. I'm going to be honest. I think he's in that mindset, and he kind of let his thoughts out of his mouth that you don't say. It's just like, man, I think which I think he holds. I do believe he holds the opinion America sucks. Because that's not the first time he's in character and out of character said some stuff to kind of push that idea. But you don't say that when you got a movie coming up. That's dumb. Well, he then tried to apologize. The apology instead made everything racial and thus did even worse. And now he's just cussing people out. Like, now it ain't a big deal. I get it. He didn't really cuss anybody out. He just said, yo, the movie's going to have
he didn't.
Issues. Chill the F out. And, we could have made him yellow and y'all would have still been effing complaining about it. Now, in any other situation, I would defend his right to say that completely. In fact, I still do. He's annoyed. Because, he effed up. He was an idiot. I don't mean he is an idiot. He was being an idiot at the time. He screwed up his movie. He screwed up his business. Nobody's going to want to see him as Captain America. I'd be upset too. You put your foot in your mouth in a big way. He's probably not going to do any more Captain America stuff after this. This is probably it. This is the end of it. He ended it. But I also understand people that are mad at him about the profanity because I defend his right to say it because I get where he's coming from because he's upset about the F up. But you need to shut up. Just being real. Yeah. When you've messed up that bad, you need to stop talking. So I can get it too.
But especially when your movie is like less than 2 weeks away. You need
to stop talking. I mean, brother to brother. Come on, man. We know sometimes, how you dig it. When I give an example, I said, how you arguing with your wife or your girlfriend and you say something and go, uh-oh, I screwed up. What do you do after that? You stop. You just go, all right, my bad. You don't keep going, well, I mean, blah, 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 blah. Just the whole is just... And it's like, Anthony Mackie is at the point now where nothing he says is going to be received fairly. And he's already screwed up.
Instead of just keeping his mouth shut, coming back with some flowers, he tried to make excuses, and we know how that works.
Yeah, and they just dig the hole. Well, it's like they say, anything you say can and will be used against you. Once you have become the bad guy and messed up your rep this bad, we've seen celebrities do it. What did Johnny do? Johnny went and played in a band and got out the public eye. Sometimes you just got to shut up. Yeah, see? You know what I'm saying? Like Chad said, shut up, get the bag, and laugh aside because you got
here's the thing, man. Anthony Mackie, he's been saying stupid shit
For a while.
For a long time, though. Like I don't even. That's why I was like not really surprised or even that worried about this whole article, because Anthony Mackie, he sort of says a lot of stupid shit.
He's expressed some opinions since he started.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah,
I mean,
but
back when he did the TV series, he said a bunch of stupid shit. I remember covering that. I mean, back before.
But he didn't just attack the literal movie. Like, these ones are aimed at the movie that we know is super expensive and going to fail. They lied about the budget on this movie so hard. They lied so much, there's a bunch of charred nuts because their pants went up. Like, there are a bunch of charred testicles.
I don't know if they lied about the budget, man.
Yes, they did. I'm standing by that.
Yeah, I mean, you can guess it. You can assume it.
Yeah, I am.
But, I mean, 120 million to 150 million sounds about right.
That's the case. They ain't paying Anthony Mackie nothing because that went to Harrison Ford, man. He did this movie for a song. Maybe that's why he's mad. Harrison Ford walked away with 115 million.
Yeah, I think 150 million was what they said it was.
Pocket change for a movie these days, man. That ain't even a major movie production.
Well, I mean, dude, if the Red Hulk isn't in it as much as they, play it off.
Yeah, they are claiming he's barely in it.
They say he's barely in it. So that cuts back on budget. What's the actual
Sidewinder.
Sidewinder.
The guy that got playing that ain't a top biller.
Yeah, the guy that got playing that don't even know.
I know him, but he's not a top biller. Nah, he ain't. Harrison Ford's the top biller of that movie.
And I mean, honestly, I don't think they should be paying Anthony Mackie that much. So,
hey, I mean, sounds like they didn't for what they're claiming the budget was. Okay, to give you an example, The Marvels, the movie with Captain Marvel. Who's that actress that played Captain Marvel? I don't even remember her name.
All right, this says 180 million was the budget.
That's not enough more. Look at what I'm telling you. Was it Brie Larson? Is that the person that played Captain Marvel?
Yes.
Brie Larson, a unknown young lady to play Mrs. Marvel, and an unknown sister playing Photon.
Yeah, but...
No, hold on. $374 million budget. And it was not in production as long as this movie.
But we also know that was at the peak of the unfair wage thing, and they were overpaying every female actress on that set.
Doctor Strange 2, then. Benedict Cumberbatch and whoever it is that plays Scarlet Witch.
Do you know how much Cumberbatch costs, man? That dude's probably one of the high. He's probably second to Iron Man as
350 million. Okay, name a Marvel movie. I'll look up a Marvel movie. What name one in? What do you want me to look? Come on, call it.
I mean, look at the previous Captain America movies.
Oh, that's going back a little far. We want more recent. Ooh, let's look at the Black Widow movie budget. There you go.
Okay.
288 million.
Really? For Black Widow?
288 million and no Scarlett Johansson.
That one actually is surprising.
Yeah, because you go back, that was back when superhero movies weren't making money. I don't think they spent, I'll look, but I know those were a lot cheaper back then because people didn't expect that stuff.
But I mean, how many people are in the top cast of that movie?
Quite a few. It had a whole team of characters.
Yeah, where we only have 22 people in the top cast of this movie.
The first Captain America movie was 140 million.
Okay.
And that was back in 2011, though. 2011, they're saying that they spent only $40 million more than a low movie with no special effect. No. Captain America, the First Avenger, had almost no special effects. Do you remember that? No special effects.
Other than Harrison Ford.
And back then, this dude wasn't that big. What's his name? The guy that played Captain America got his career after that.
Other than Harrison Ford, who on there is bringing in a paycheck, man?
Damn. You're right, probably. Dang. Yeah, but the special effects.
Actually, the Sidewinder actor. Okay, I know him.
Yeah, I said, I've seen him.
Yeah.
Now he ain't Harrison Ford's league, but he's a well-known actor.
Yeah, no, he's actually he's a really good actor.
You can see it. I got my glasses off.
It's on screen. It's
okay.
Giancarlo Esposito. He's the guy from
yeah.
He's the guy from Mandalorian. So.
Yeah. He was in Mandalorian as the bad guy. Let's see. Let me look at him. I mean, like I said, there's no modern Marvel movie that's budget is even close to this, man. Not anything recently. And we just compared it to a movie with the least special effects out of all of the movies. Captain America: The First Avenger has the lowest special effects budget of all the movies. It has almost none. The only special effects was them making him look skinny at the start. That was it. Now, this one has Red Hulk, explosions, several actors. I was about to say celebrities. Several actors. And then it has Harrison Ford, who's usually a pretty top biller. I mean, they had to... There's no way he did not get paid at least hundreds of thousands of dollars for this movie. Which means a good chunk of that budget is him.
Well, yeah.
A good chunk of that budget is just him.
I mean, as a matter of fact, they probably have these people listed by their pay scale almost. I mean, Harrison Ford, number one.
See, even chat, Flynn is even saying there was almost no CG at all. Like, it was one of the cheapest movies they made because it had the least special effects. So we compared it to probably the cheapest. Like, Iron Man, I'm sure, cost a lot more. Maybe not the first one. Let's see. That's a good one.
Probably not a lot of special effects in this, man. Probably the only special effect they have is the Red Hulk.
Yeah, the first Iron Man was 140. So the first movies, but it's got a price that's comparable to the beginning of Marvel. I just don't believe that the budget was that low. I don't think that's what they're spending on Marvel movies in 2025 or 2024. Because that's also a movie that's like 2010 or 11. Like 2008. That's almost 20 years ago. We're comparing its budget to movies that are nearly 20 years older than it, or at least 14 to 15 years. That's not a good comparison of the age. You know, the trailer's going to focus on usually special effects.
Just saying. I mean, this movie already looks like it's a low budget.
I mean, that is true, but I think that's more the quality of that suit looks terrible. All right, but there's also a second Falcon, so there is special effects. Because they not only have Anthony Mackie, Captain America Falcon, but they also have a new Falcon. So they have two flying suits. There's got to be some special effects. Also, everything with the shield being thrown is going to be CGI. He obviously, he's not chunking the shield at a mile an hour, you know. So yeah. I still can't believe. But the hardest part for me, let me holler at my brother. So Flynn, check it out. They're claiming that the way he's fighting Hulk and all that is that the Wakandans decided to give him a full vibranium suit. The Wakandans. The ones that we see going to collect vibranium from other people because they don't want it outside of Wakanda. They almost took Pap's shield because it had vibranium in it. But they like Anthony Mackie so much that they gave him the equivalent of a Black Panther suit because a full suit of vibranium is what the king of their country wears. But they gave this random brother a full vibranium suit. Why would they give him what their king wears? Is he the king of Wakanda now? I don't think their rarest metal and something that they literally have only given one person, or the queen at this point, excuse me, it's not the queen, his sister, but still, literally, they're pretty strict on that. I don't think they just gonna walk up to random, as much as I love Wakanda and black people, I don't think they're gonna walk up. In the comic? Okay, so I'm getting corrected. That's why I asked my boy. He's a comic guy. So in the comics, they did give him a full vibranium suit? That's impressive. Because I ain't gonna lie, in the Marvel universe, they seem to be very strict about this material, since most of the stories is them hunting it down and taking it back. I watched, Black Panther. I even watched the series. They go get it. The whole story of the second movie was them hunting down Riri Williams because she built a device that can detect vibranium, and they were like, we gotta go get her. And it caused a huge conflict because that's how strict they are.
So, it's part of their outreach program.
They want to help the American symbol. Okay, cool. So, comic book accurate. So, I'm corrected. Now, still, based on the way they behave in the cinematic universe, I'm not unreasonable, though, to think they wouldn't because of how strictly they kept going to get it back.
But they were also did talk about the outreach program and
well, not for vibranium, no.
And trying to change. Yeah, not with vibranium, but I mean, if they are, I mean, the Americans. Well, that makes sense.
Well,
I can see that.
See, that tells me that when they did his series, they should have played more with that. While there were Wakandans in the series, because they had the arm for Bucky. They really should have played it.
Yeah, man, they gave a white dude the arm. You think they gotta give the black dude a full suit?
Hey, Steve asked for that arm, and everybody likes Steve. As Harrison Ford said, "You're no Steve Rogers." And there's a person in comments where I saw on the trailer, "And you're no Captain America." But it's okay. I'm not saying that to be mean. You stated you're not Captain America because you don't think Captain America is about America. I still can't believe he said that. Making us look bad. It's like, come on, man. Come on, you don't say that when you trying to make your money. You messing up your money.
All right.
Like my boy said, you messing up your money. Like, you sit up there and go, what's Captain America you? Truth, justice, American way. Steal from Superman, whatever. Pay me. If I'm playing Captain America, I'm going to play along. Or don't do the role. I mean, get it. You don't want to be a sellout, that's fine. But then don't play Captain America. Play Falcon. They can't get me in an Uncle Sam outfit unless they pay me so much money, I don't mind. But then I'm going to tell people, you know how much I'm being paid to wear this Uncle Sam outfit? We want you, but I'm going to be paid. Wow. Either do your job and take the money or keep your dignity and don't take the money. Don't try to take the money and then act like you're not selling out.
All right, we're going to end on that, guys. Be sure to go to Dicejunkies.com.
I'm just saying, make a decision. Be a man.
Where you can find links to everywhere we are
taking the money or
online.
not?
Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And as every week,
we hope you enjoy.